You guys ready?
Ready as we're gonna be.
All right. Welcome back to Dungeons and Designers. Today we're joined again by Jonathan. This is kind of a part 3. Normally it's a part 2, but we didn't quite get through the full section I wanted to, most likely because of our banter. But today we're going to finish it up. Dan, who was with us last time, his internet died, so he's in a constant battle with Optimum, not a sponsor. But we have Courtney rejoining us, so we're the same amount of heads, but different faces.
Swapping out.
One extra shell, though.
One extra shell. So in the last recording session, last time we played, you guys had all gone back to the Yawning Portal after searching for Floon. You guys do kind of know where he was, right? You went to the sewer, you found it, and then kind of looked around and were like, we're not looking so great right now. Decided to take a rest, went back to the Yawning Portal where Agate was staying. So now Dan's character, what's his name?
Vodmek.
Dan's character, Vodmek, is now going to just be staying in the Yawning Portal. And then Agate's going to come joining us, right?
Sleeping in. Yeah.
So the Yawning Portal is up in the Castle Ward, which is the lower part of the Castle Ward. But you guys have quite a distance to get back into the heart of the Dock Ward, where this gang activity is, where the sewer cap you found was. It's now closer to like mid-morning, mid-afternoon, right? So it's light. When you guys enter the Dock Ward, the crime is definitely turned down because it's like daytime. You still have those boxes with like tentacles coming out of it and all that stuff. But like for the most part, everything is much calmer than like at night when you guys had walked back to Yawning Portal. You guys would have seen some stuff. Jonathan, what's your character's name again? Wiley?
Wiley.
Wiley.
Yep, Wiley Denby.
I would assume Wiley was very uncomfortable walking home at that night. Like, maybe wanting to prove himself, but knowing that he'd be totally outnumbered.
I also was like, I kind of thought about staying at the Yawning Portal.
Yeah.
And even like kind of suggested it. And like, I shouldn't stay here.
Yeah.
And I assume they were like, no, you absolutely shouldn't stay here.
Yeah.
But then we passed you like 3 or 4 beers and no, you shouldn't stay. And then kept getting you drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume too, like when you guys got back, instead of going straight to bed, you would probably hung out in the bar area where you guys would have seen still like multitude of adventurer parties going into the big well portal, right? So it's the same kind of thing. Like this is not a once in a while thing. Like every day, there's just a constant flood of people going in and out, in the same kind of like football game vibe, right? Where everyone's just kind of cheering and really excited and careless. Very different than the Dock Ward.
Okay. What do I remember in my time at City Watch about that portal?
You know everything about it probably. And I would assume at this point, so do Zach and Courtney's characters. Beneath Waterdeep, there's a giant tower that goes into the ground and then into a mine that was created, I believe, by a wizard. So this well isn't actually a well. It's the top of a tower that you are like entering into and then going into, I believe, don't quote me, and anyone who knows D&D better than me, I'm sorry, I believe it's called Undermountain. So underneath, where there are many floors of magical mayhem. So people go down there because in all of that, there is treasures. There's actually cities and then cities underneath cities that they can go into. You might run into drow down there, like all the Underdark type things. So it's a high risk, high reward situation where like our characters 3 or 4 sessions ago saw people coming up like dead. Right. But like also with bags of treasure. So it's kind of that give and take. Like no one here is probably prepared to go down there, but maybe one day.
Undermountain is my favorite ride in Animal Kingdom, by the way.
If it's a ride in Animal Kingdom, I might have that name wrong.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a ride in Animal Kingdom.
I was like, am I swapping Disney again?
Oh, man. Happens
So
all the time.
we're just going to pick up our session with you guys walking back through the Dock Ward. I would assume we're going to take many of the same footsteps. You'll probably pass Zoblobs, I believe it was called, the store with the giant beholder in the window.
Mhm.
So maybe you're pointing stuff out to Agate as you guys are like, you're almost tour guides at this point.
What's that purple house right there?
Oh man, that purple house, man, it's full of purple smoke. And hey, Wiley, you remember that
The
you saw
eyes.
it too? That beholder,
The eyes were, yeah.
it looked
That
at us, and then
did.
Ed stops, turns around, grabs Aggie by the shoulders, and just gets close to her face and said, "It looked at us. Look at it. It's dead. It ain't moving, but it looked at us."
And then there was like this magic business card. It was strange.
Do
Anyway,
you have it? Did you hand it
Who-
out?
Who was it that had that? Was it Vodnight?
I bet Vod had it. He went looking for rocks this morning too.
No, I
The
think
one that had the face.
yeah.
I think that was you.
Oh, that was my face. Yeah, hold on. Ed turns around. He like turns 3 times and like tries to get his bag, pulls it out and just like holds it in Aggie's face. And it's just like a greeting, like a baseball card size card that just has Ed's face on it, like as he looks now. And it's like, look, you don't know anything about this, do you?
No, amazing likeness.
I know.
Good moves.
It's,
Nailed it.
Well-
anyway, I pay too much money for this, but not too much other stuff happened. What'd you find?
Yeah, I went, took a little day trip and found some sentient mushrooms. I was looking to source my latest
they-
product.
Do they sing?
Yeah, they did. They sang me a song. We're best buds now, and they gave me an offering that I can sell to people. I thought I'd give you some samples. And
Man, I love a mushroom sample.
yeah, I just gave some. I made a brew out of it. And I'll chat you what it
these
does.
cooked mushrooms?
They're brew. It's like a tea.
Wiley hears sentient mushrooms, his ears are perked.
Yeah,
What kind of
Just so you know,
crime
this-
is happening?
tea isn't sentient, and
Yeah.
it's licensed, and they get a cut of the profit. So totally
Hey.
legal.
That sounds
Yeah.
great.
These
yeah,
are
like I said,
fair market mushrooms.
Yeah.
these are farm to table mushrooms. Yeah, not much happened. We ended up at a bar, got into a fight between 2 gangs, killed a couple bird people, found some folks with some tattoos.
Not just burned, like cooked alive.
well, no, yeah, he said, yeah, we killed.
It was like fried chicken.
Yeah, Vod cooked some chicken.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy we were after has he's done gone and got himself kidnapped. Basically, what we found. We found another fella tied up in a room. I'm still not totally sure how he plays into it, but he comes from a lot of money. Captain Bob Saget.
Royalties, I
Yeah,
think.
Captain Bob Saget let him off. Wiley let him take him, and you know
I didn't really have a choice on that one though.
that's true. You kind of got outnumbered. Like it was 18-1, I think. Like the whole crew came
Was
down
it?
on you.
Wasn't great, and I still have just so much paperwork to do.
What's the deal with Captain Bob Saget back there? He kept pulling out that legal code and showing it to us.
Listen, I can't talk bad about the leadership while I'm on duty, which I assume
You're
this
back
whole
on duty,
time
for sure.
that I'm always on duty.
I would assume Wiley almost always imagines himself on duty.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm always in
Your
uniform,
shirt's
always.
your shirt's still inside out though. Did you do
No,
that
no,
on purpose this morning?
I wash it every day. Like,
yeah, but it's still
every day.
inside out. I mean, look,
No, I took
Look
it
at
off.
it.
What it's definitely I
the
look
badge
down.
is against your skin.
I look down and it absolutely is inside out. I'm very embarrassed. I want to duck into my favorite deli.
Okay,
There's a deli. There's got to be a deli nearby the Purple Place.
sure. It'd be like kind of a grungy, kind of like in like a city, like that hole in the wall, the one that's maybe too dirty for visitors, but like you might know personally.
Yeah, exactly. I know the proprietor, but actually, like I feel like I know the proprietor of this deli.
Right.
He does not remember me anytime I walk in.
Yeah, no.
So every time I walk in, I'm like, I suppose his name is probably Hank.
Sure.
But Hank does not know me ever. He forgets me every time I walk in.
Sure. So you're at
So I
Hank's
go in-
Deli?
Yes, we're in Hank's Deli, and I walk in and I try to like deepen my voice and Hank, and he does not pay me any mind.
Yeah, no.
But I want to grab a sandwich before we go into the down under
yeah.
to the sewers.
So like this like kind of he's got like one big tattooed arm and like one stub arm that like probably lost in some really inconvenient situation in the dock ward, and like looks over the counter down at you, takes your order. Someone in the back is making it, but you can't see over the countertop, right? And then just a sandwich slides out. You give him probably like 5 or 6 silver. And you've got this like maybe in sort of like a newspaper-ish like wrap sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling like grungy New York deli style.
Yeah.
You know, he does not want to spend any time talking to the patrons.
No, he's got a line going out the door, right? This probably took a few minutes.
Yeah. Are you guys going to eat a sandwich?
Probably not. Do you want me to detect poison for you there, friend?
No, listen, I have a defense against poison. So I'm solid.
Righteous. I don't know if I do, so I'll pass.
So good though. The halfling using his like natural abilities just to be like, I can eat anywhere.
I can eat anything. It's like a cod sandwich, and it's definitely not good.
Yeah, no.
It does not smell good. Ed's like turning away from it.
You're slowly
closer with it.
You're slowly realizing what the smell of the city is coming from, and it's like
this is a pretty strong contributor for sure.
Kind of poison that'll get you later.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine, Hank, we're heading out, and we just walk out of the deli.
Yeah, he's already talking to other people.
So he talks to other
See you
patrons.
tomorrow, Hank.
He talks to the other folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I turn to you both and I kind of say, so this Floon character, are you saying that he did kind of like a Gone Girl Man on Fire situation? Like he was out for money and turned himself in to fake kidnapping?
No, apparently he looked like that real pretty guy we found. Rainier. There was this whole thing between the two gangs, the Zens and the Xanthars. I don't know much about them except that the Zans have really cool tattoo. It looks like a snake with wings. You know me, I love snakes. Snakes with wings are even better. So it's great. And the Xanthars think that Rainier has the stone of Galler. So they took Floon by accident. See, I told you, not much happened. It wasn't a big deal.
I love the idea that Ed is like reading off a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And like every name just like trying to get it right.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that real life situation carried over to our characters, and now it's an attribute of Ed.
Yeah. Have some pictures.
And not just me being an idiot, not knowing how to read the words I wrote very small. Why didn't I write that bigger for myself?
We need to get you a full-size Moleskine.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of paper, probably.
Yeah. A lot of Post-it notes. Thank you, D&D Beyond. Not a sponsor this week. But anyway, like I said, not much happened. Just a royal kidnapping, and we got kind of a Prince and the Pauper situation, if you will. Kind of mixed in there with the Gone Girl story, like you mentioned. That's
So
where
where are we
we're
off
at.
to now, then? Who are we trying to
We're
save?
gonna come, and he walks over to the manhole cover. We're going down there.
Yeah, you guys like exit Hanks. You turn right down that next alley. You're like, here it is.
Now that you mention it.
This is one of them gangs. This is one of them gang logos on the manhole cover. So we just assumed this was the correct entrance.
Yeah, and what you guys come up to is like the manhole cover with the circle with the 10 spokes kind of embossed into it, like a custom cover almost.
Names aside, did I miss any of the story?
I don't think so. I think you got it.
Okay. Got it. Good.
Yeah, and I think someone had made the comment of like, they're not even trying to hide this, right? By like putting it right on the manhole cover. And I would assume either most people will be smart enough to leave it alone, or most people that wouldn't already know who's down there isn't a concern for them. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to get that kind of feeling where like the Xanathar probably aren't trying to hide very often.
Oh, we're supposed to follow some yellow signs, by the way.
That's right. That is what that bird person said. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Officer Wilde. I appreciate you remembering that.
I have a good long notebook over here.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys like pry off that manhole cover and you look down, maybe for the first couple of feet, you see like the light, the very dim light kind of coming in there, but it goes straight to pitch black very quickly. And
I think we determined none of us have dark vision.
So yeah,
According to you.
for sure, Dan's dwarf does,
Yeah, and
but I
that
don't
was it.
believe anyone else has dark vision.
You would think.
We can grab I think we can like get a lamp, right? Or lantern.
I think everyone has in their adventuring bag some sort of lantern.
I've got a torch or
a
too.
torch.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
So you guys gonna get down there and light them up?
it is the sewer. Turtles first.
Yeah. I cannonball in.
I have chainmail. Is that something that I'm like always wearing?
If you want.
I assume I have to like put it on.
What's your AC right now?
18.
Then it's equipped. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's the AC 16 on the chainmail. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so you could take it off if you don't want it, but it's probably always on.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm not getting slowed down by it, I'm fine.
No. It's sized to halfling. You're not stepping on it.
Good. It's the equivalent of a bulletproof vest under my.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your inside out
Cool.
t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the one in Lord of the Rings that Frodo had? I can't remember what it's called, but he had that chainmail underneath the elven one.
Oh, yeah.
His was too big. They had to like tuck it into his pants.
Oh, double up.
we'll say one of us could just move our mouths and you can edit in so it looks like we know the name of it.
That's
was
overestimating the amount of effort I put into the show.
Yeah.
So as you guys slowly make your way down, you start like lighting your torches. You're on your way down. You were instantly hit with the smell of the sewers. Right? This is not
the only
clean.
D&D show that doesn't know the Lord of the Rings reference.
I know. On a good day when I'm not recording, I probably would be all right. But yeah, so you get down there and the smell just hits you guys, right? This is not clean water. This is like the dankest, grossest sewage of Waterdeep as it kind of exits into the ocean, right? Like this is the last runoff. And as you light your torches, the visual scene isn't any better, right? You are standing in at least inches of sewage. You could try to get your feet up on the walls, right? But you were ending up in this grossness.
I'm going to take a moment to get a couple vials of this and see if I can do anything with it later.
Yeah, and it like instantly starts growing something. You're like, oh.
Yeah. It's like fertilizer.
But yeah, as you like get over that initial hit of the smell in the scene, as you look up, you do see the first little yellow circle with the 10 spokes painted onto the wall of the tunnel, almost guiding you down. And much like a hiking trail, every 50 or 100 feet you see another one, and as you continue down, it's bringing you down curves too, right? Because it keeps forking and sewage is coming into like this one big tunnel. So you're taking your turns left, right, and you're probably walking through all of this very slowly and kind of grossly and trying not to slip, but it's probably taking you almost an hour. Right. And it's going to be very hard for you to know time, right? Because there's no sun anymore. And you guys don't have watches because it's D&D time or era.
Fantasy watch.
Yeah. You pull out your sundials and they're
Mine's
not
just
doing
like
much.
that's what I was gonna say. Mine's just a little sundial. It doesn't work down here.
But as you guys continue,
But it's in the shape of an apple because it's an apple.
as you guys continue down, you see past the yellow circle, there's a creature floating like in the middle of the tunnel. And it's kind of just bobbing a little bit. And above its head, you see kind of a shaft that goes straight up with a ladder coming down.
Oh, not coming off the creature.
Mm-mm.
Just happens to be. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like what you guys came down.
Spike out of his head.
But
It's a rhinoceros.
I don't know what else you would call that. Like a cylinder going out of the sewer vertically up to the street.
You mean like another pipe?
Yeah, it's your vertical pipe.
Yeah.
I've
played Mario before, Will. I know what we're looking at.
Better than I do, probably. So yeah, you see this monstrosity kind of hanging in the air, and it's probably no larger than a cantaloupe-ish shape. And from it are 4 stalks, very similar to the beholder you guys saw at Zobob's. But instead of being the beholder you saw is probably closer to 6 or 8 feet wide. This guy's just like a little cantaloupe soccer ball size. And as he like bobs around, he's not really seeing you at all or like minding you guys any business.
So it's not like a Skulltula from Zelda or something.
What would you guys like to do?
Does it look like the path continues behind him?
It does.
And he doesn't see us. Or he saw us and he's not interested.
No, he hasn't seen you. There's no reason for you to think he has seen you.
Oh.
But the spokes are going down past it, right?
You probably can't see at this distance because your torches wouldn't last that far.
I'll keep walking.
Wiley, you ever seen one of them before?
That's a good question. Have I seen one of these before? I guess I could.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, sure. Give me a intelligence check.
Yeah,
16.
probably.
Yeah, 16 is plenty. So you'll know kind of what the beholder is, and you'll know this is kind of a distant relative of it. You don't know how they're formed because beholders form very oddly, right? It's not like a normal creature in the woods. But you know that with the four stalks and the shape, you could probably suspect that there's going to be an eye on the other side of his head, like a big eye that fills most of the sphere. But you know it has some beholder-esque characteristics, and it's called a gazer. Don't Google it, folks.
No,
just live the game.
We're gonna see one of those eyes, kind of like what we saw in the purple store. I suspect that this eye has some kind of reporting feature. It's like a security camera. Sorry, Wiley didn't say that because there are no security cameras in Waterdeep.
I think you're fine. I've mentioned Bob Saget 3 times so far. We talked about Gone Girl.
Right. And as you said it, we're like, yeah, security camera. Like, none of us questioned it.
It's just
it's really smart.
Why didn't they just use security camera? I don't know. I think this is probably so. We either should try to get past this thing without being detected, or we need to remove it from service. Which is Wiley's very kind way of saying kill it.
All I heard was the second part, and I pull out my crossbow and shoot it.
All right. So you're going to get the first attack no matter what. But while you're doing you're rolling, while everyone else also give me initiative.
Ed's going to aim at one of the eyes on top. Got it, or at the base of one, I guess. And 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
11 damage.
Sorry, one sec.
I'm not gonna use my bonus to run and attack. I think Ed's gonna hang back and see how it reacts.
Yeah. So as you launch that bolt at it, it pierces into the back of its head, and it kind of thrusts forward. And as it does, it kind of takes that momentum and turns facing you guys. And you watch as like the bottom half opens up and just shows like rows of razor teeth. And as Wiley said, like one big eye in the center. But he screams and it echoes down both sides of the tunnel.
Well, that was not ideal. Sorry, guys.
Wiley.
I don't have anything range-wise that's going to hit this guy. How far are we away?
Let's say 20, 25 feet, right?
Okay.
Just on the outside of the torch kind of brim.
This is silly. I want to blind this thing.
Okay.
It's got 5 eyes. I think it's not silly at all.
But I want to do it. I'm going to do it with my torch.
Ooh, what are you going to try? You gonna try to stab it with the torch?
I'm going to try to put the torch directly in its eye.
Yeah, I like it. So why don't you go up there and we'll do an improvised weapon.
Sounds good.
So
I move, I guess that'd be about 20 feet.
Yeah. Are you going to try to throw it, or do you want to try to stab it?
Let me think about that, because I think Wiley would probably not try to throw it.
Okay.
So, and in doing so, I'm like holding my hand in front of my face to try to hide my identity a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's going to also take a bit of a leap, right? Like out of the sewage, because it's floating, and you're going to try to just like jab the torch.
Yeah. So that might be something like athletics, or, well, I guess if it's an improvised weapon, it's just an attack roll, right?
It's an attack roll, and I believe plus your strength.
Okay.
And if not, we're going to play it that way anyway.
Yeah. Oh, 7.
Yeah. So you guys watch as Wiley kind of runs into like the darkness a little bit, and you see him just jump and hear a splash, and then you hear another splash as he lands on the other side of the geyser, but like underneath him, and there's now like a light on the other side of the geyser.
Wait a second. Hold on. I can use my fighting style dueling. Is a torch a melee weapon?
Yeah, it'd be improvised melee.
I could add 2 to that, but I don't think 9's gonna hit either. So
It won't help. Sorry.
doesn't matter. All right. Well, did everything I could.
So you guys see him well lit on the other side. At this point, you do see a yellow circle mark on the other side of it, though. So you do know these marks do keep passing it and do not go up the vertical pipe.
Okay.
Agate, what's the turtle gonna do?
I'm gonna hope that it's not impervious to poison, and we'll see. I'm gonna cast poison spray at it through the palms of my hands,
Okay.
and it needs to make a Constitution saving throw and beat 13.
I rolled a 19, so yes. Sorry.
This eyeball is incredible.
And it's the eyeball's turn. I think he's going to try to turn around and get Wiley, who ran at him with a torch. And all you see is him like dip down with his open jaw and try to take a bite out of you. Ooh, 20. That's a hit.
Yeah.
So that's... you take two piercing damage.
Is it total of 2? Is that right?
Yeah, total of
2. Oh,
2. And it should probably be 1, but I won't take a 1. So you take 2 damage.
No.
Okay, Ed, you watch as this thing takes a bite, almost barely touching him, right? Like maybe it barely gets through his chainmail. What are you going to do?
He's has him, excuse me, Aggie, and pull his sword out with the left hand and keep the crossbow in his right and run at it and try to stab it with his short sword.
Cool. And because he's now facing behind, you're getting his back, you get flanking. So roll 2 d20s on your attack roll.
Nice.
For it to hit.
Mm-hmm.
First one was 23 and then 15.
Cool. That 23 definitely goes through.
Okay. So this short sword does 5 damage.
Cool. And that's plenty. You watch as the sword just cuts him through in half, and kind of the eyes kind of split down on either side, and all you see behind is like Wiley covered in little bits of guts now.
Oh my gosh.
And Ed puts his sword up. He's like, hey, sorry, man. And starts like pulling chunks out of the top of your head and stuff.
You see me surprised more than disgusted. And I'm like, I always thought that the trick with the knife and the creamer, that there would just be like cream, like it would just be white.
I know, right?
And it's not at all. It's not at all
well,
what it is.
I think if it was just one eyeball, that might have happened, but I'm not sure which one I got.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the big one and it's got the purple stuff in it.
Yeah.
But hey, I appreciated that trick you did with the torch. That could have been really cool.
Yeah, jumping up and then jumping back down.
I know, but he wasn't paying, I think next time maybe aim a little lower and you'll get it.
Yeah.
I think you'll get it.
Maybe if I wasn't jumping in a sewer.
That didn't help either. No.
Yeah, that's probably.
And maybe, yeah, I should have got his attention. But hey, I appreciate you, man. That was a good fight. Sorry again about the. Hey, Aggie, you all right? We can keep moving on.
I just keep looking at my hands, like, why won't they work? Like farts coming out of them. No poison.
Like rub them in the sewer so they're more poisonous.
Yes.
If it makes you feel better,
ready.
I probably just got all my good rolls right out of the way. So, Zach, a little bit of a rule thing. You running up with your sword and crossbow, where did you put your torch?
I dropped it.
Do you want to go back and get it?
Yeah, I'll go back and get it.
Okay. So you have a torch, but it's now covered in sewage and wet.
Held it in yeah. Man, it took 2.5 seasons to get called on a rule thing, but I finally did it.
I was just like, I was like picturing in my head, I was like, so Wiley's got a light down there that he did hold on to purposely. And then you're running down with both. And I was just like, how is this working?
Yeah. It's like, Oh, I can't think of an example. You know, like when you're doing a calculator, but you got a pencil in your hand.
Yeah.
You kind of hold it like this.
Uh-huh.
That's what it was. No, I go back and pick it up. I'm like, hey, anybody got a light? You mind if I? Because it's gone out when it hit the water.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd imagine
I
it's like
think there
soaked
is not-
through at this point. Like
Yeah.
you're probably
I'm
not
like,
letting
it's-
that.
I got
it's-
another
There is
one.
very little water content in this sewer, I feel like. There's almost
Oh.
no
It's either
water.
one of two choices. Either it doesn't light or it instantly goes up in the entire thing. Like,
So as you guys continue
I
with
take one of Aggie's torches that she
all
offers me,
with
and-
torches, it's probably just another like 15, 20 minutes until you start seeing a dim light at the end of this tunnel. And it's very dim, right? It's just like a little bit of light coming through, and you see a wall in the far distance. You also hear the water kind of redirecting a little bit and splashing a little bit more. And as you guys continue, the water in the sewage area is rising a bit, and it reaches to a full foot. So I would assume Wiley is now almost waist deep in this grossness. And the rest of you guys are probably, lower calves at the very least.
Yeah.
How tall is the agate?
I think like 4.5.
Yeah, so you probably got knee
5 feet.
coverage in here.
Do we need to like take a look up that pipe to see what? I mean, I'm curious. Is that like maybe that's the network of tentacles for the reporting system?
You want to go back and climb up that ladder?
I just kind of want to look. Like, I feel like I wouldn't have not looked at it.
Sure.
At least I don't even need to necessarily climb up there all the way. Just like quick.
Yeah, so
Push it up.
as you
Yeah.
climb halfway, even you do see it's just like another manhole type cover. And if you go up and you kind of just lift it a little bit, you see yourself inside a tavern, not too dissimilar to the where were we last time? The something
Johnny
dragon?
Portal?
No.
Oh.
Skewer dragon.
It's similar to Skewing Dragon, right? But you're now in the kitchens, and above you is a large man cooking on like giant grills.
I'm gonna close that and go back down.
You're just gonna slowly let it back down and be like, I should not be in here.
If there's a manhole cover in a kitchen, it's probably not an excellent place to be.
So something about a lot of these old buildings is that they would do these kind of funnels because there was no modern
yeah.
sewage. So a lot of these taverns are going to have little entrances.
Natural, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, so,
So it may not be such a bad place.
No,
It would
I mean,
be-
as bad
be
as the Skewer
excellent.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Right, so not great.
Okay.
Not great for a cop probably to be popping up through a kitchen.
Hey,
Which definitely makes the sewers grosser. Because not
Yes.
only is it sewage, like
Garbage,
toilet
everything.
sewage, yeah.
like
okay.
runoff.
Yeah.
Used oil and cook. Yeah.
Like I said, there's not a lot of water in here.
So yeah, at this point, you guys are kind of, again, and about foot deep. In front of you, you can see like a very distant light reflecting on a wall, almost as if it tees down quite a bit. But it's probably still 40 or 50 feet away from you. How'd you
You guys
guys
doing?
Okay.
Y'all doing all right? Wiley,
Me-
please take this with all respect. Would you like a ride?
I was wondering if I could ride on the shell, maybe.
Well, I mean, I
I'll-
can't
yeah,
speak
I'll
for
take
Aggie. You sure?
I was gonna offer the same.
I mean, I can lift you up there if you're okay with that. I don't want to. Are you okay with that? I'll
Yeah.
help you get up there.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Don't mind me.
Ed's gonna lift you up on the Aggie shell.
And I can hold my breath for an hour, so we're good for a while.
Oh, there you go.
I don't think you'll need to hold your breath. I think you'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's
is the
okay.
Yeah, I was
Water-
wondering, is this going to continue rising? If so, we need to remember where our exits are.
That was my
And
question. Is
being
the
my
water
safety-minded, yeah.
safety first?
Yeah.
There's no guides out here. Is the water coming in, and that's why it's rising, or is the floor sloping down?
The floor is more sloping down.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So I would say it does feel like there's another kind of, that the water's maybe moving a little bit faster. Like there is a source of this stuff coming in. But it definitely feels like it's getting deeper and possibly rounding out or flattening out a little bit. Like you guys have been in a pipe and is now gradually turning into more of a rectangle cube type shape.
Okay.
Do we get a sense that that the material, the sewer material, has changed in character?
No, not much other than what I was kind of just saying. Like the corners are kind of
Just
squaring
more
out a
of
bit.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
I'd want to know
I say we keep going.
for my vial.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So you guys keep walking in. Now you're about 10, 15 feet away from that wall I talked about. And what you see is that it's actually a cylinder kind of support structure and that the water is flowing around it. To your right, you see another large tunnel, very similar to the one you're currently in. To your left, you see another large tunnel you're currently in. But what you also see is right over kind of your left shoulder as you start entering into this little spherical is you see a small kind of slit in the wall where light is coming through. And that is probably the dim light that was casting onto that cylinder you guys saw before. You also see on the, like quite a bit past that, down the big pipe to your left, almost a little room cut out. If you kind of can imagine like TV when they show subways and there's always those little like kind of work areas where people can like stand where the trains are coming. It's kind of like that. It's like a little, maybe 20 feet long, 5-6 feet wide platform that it comes out of the sewage. Where would you guys like to head?
Which one of us is the stealthiest? I'd like to look through that little crack.
I have a +5.
In stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a -1, so go for it.
Yeah, you should do that. I said,
But
like,
stay away from
I'm
that
way up here
platform.
on the shell, and I just don't want to get down.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I wouldn't want you to get down in here anyway. It's deeper. Here, hold this, and I hand you my torch that I'm now using, and then
Yeah,
Try
it's
to-
on the back
and what you will have to kind of do is
on
almost
the back of the. Yeah.
you'll have to like stick your hands like in the slit a little bit and pull yourself up because it's probably like almost not quite a second floor, but it's higher.
Yeah,
So-
so I can probably jump and reach it, and the water probably helps too, right?
No, this water would definitely hold you back.
Swift.
But why don't you give me? Let's start with a dexterity check, and if you have advantage for stealth, you could add that.
Okay.
Whichever one's better for you.
14. So I rolled the dex, and I got a 9. But then if I add my +5 for stealth, I get 14.
Yeah, no worries. So you do.
Okay.
You kind of get up on the edge of the room a little bit, and you pull yourself up, and what you see in there is a goblin sleeping.
Just one goblin?
Mm-hmm.
No doors or.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's a fairly large room, and at the back corner, it's like a goblin sleeping in a chair, and in the back corner, looks like there's a door to this room.
Okay. But I don't see any way for me to get there from where I currently am.
No, you would have no idea where that door is leading.
Okay. All right. I drop down and go. Huh?
I feel like we're about to go on this little lazy river circle thing.
I come back and tell you, like, hey, there's one goblin, excuse me. I don't want to shame, asleep. There's a door, but I'm not sure where it is to connect to. But we should probably stay quiet because I don't really want to wake him up.
Mhm.
And if he slept through that monster back there, we could probably be a little louder, but I don't want to go crazy.
Good point.
And just to make sure I'm totally clear with you guys on locations, if on a clock you're at 6 o'clock, there's a pipe at 3, there's a pipe at 9. That little window is probably at 7, 7.5. And then at 10, 11 is that platform that goes down that pipe at 9 o'clock. Does that help at all?
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't see too far down that platform right now, can we?
No, I'm sorry. You can. That has torches. It's lit. And
okay.
There's a door on that platform too.
So it's probably safe to assume there's a door around like 9:30 that gets into that room with the goblin.
That's what I'm thinking.
You would assume sort of, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, like it snakes back around there or something.
Are the torches around the platform as if a giant being could land on the platform? That I'm getting like big boss.
How are they
vibes.
distributed on this platform?
No, it's just like a single torch next to the door.
Door.
Just
a
so like,
robot
people can
shaped
find
like a
it.
house.
We won't
Are we
get
gonna
there
fight
and
that
hear
house
music.
spot?
Yeah.
Does it look like that torch is there like like normally? Like
Yeah.
this is a office type. We come here on the regular.
You would assume this is definitely directing traffic.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, when I was peeking through the slit in the wall,
Mm-hmm.
did I see the Xanthar or the Zans logos on anything.
Why don't you give me an insight check?
An 8.
I would say you were probably just trying to hold on.
Sounds right. Okay.
Yeah. It was also not a well-lit room, right? Like, there's a goblin sleeping in there. There's probably some sort of candle or torch in there, but it's probably
It
very
would be
dim.
strange to assume that it was the other gang when we followed the Xanathar's logo to this place.
You would not assume there would be a sleeping goblin in a chair from the sense.
Yeah. Right.
I think probably there's not a sleeping goblin that hangs out in the sewer on a regular basis. He's there for a reason, maybe watching over something.
Oh.
Potentially that little window that you
Goblins
look through.
are very guard-like in their abilities.
Sorry. Was he asleep in a bed?
No, in a chair.
It was a chair. Okay.
So he wasn't wearing pajamas.
He's literally asleep on the job then.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
And once you tell me this, I'm like, unbelievable. I just can't. I have no tolerance for laziness on the job.
Yeah, and
Especially security jobs.
and though you didn't see any like markings or anything, what you would have seen is that he would have had a crossbow and a sword. Like he's not just kind of like hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, he's out. I mean, he's there's little birdies going around his head. Basically, he was counting sheep.
I feel like. So what is that? Our 3 o'clock again? Sorry.
3 o'clock is another water, like a tunnel.
Okay.
Pipe. Okay.
Yeah, pipe. Sorry.
So, I would like to walk around this thing.
Okay.
The wall
Towards 3 o'clock.
Yes, towards 3 o'clock, and just glance down that pipe.
Cool.
I like to do this relative. Like at this point, I feel like we're all kind of doing the Scooby Doo tiptoe.
Sure. So you
Me,
going? Why don't you give me a stealth check as you kind of
Yeah,
try?
you're gonna like yaw, or
Wait,
do you get
would it-
off of me?
or would it be Agnes?
Yeah,
Stealth check?
Well, I'm kind of like trying to like point the torches
Over there.
that direction to see if it works. It's like, no, it's not.
Ed'll take his torch back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slide off the back. I feel like even though it's slow moving, I will try to do this. And being covered in the water, I feel like I could pretty easily, like if I really needed to, as awful as it would be, duck under to
It would
hide.
be, yeah. You are the size that you could. You are right. It would be terrible.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
You'd be testing that poison defense you have.
Yes, for sure.
8 poison damage every time you go under.
So I mean, we could do this together if we all want to walk around that
So
way.
just to be like metagame a little bit, it would be you will all have to roll stealth checks if you move. So
Okay, all right. Maybe that's something for you to do, Ed.
You know what? Why not? Sure, let's try.
all
You're
right,
just sitting back and being
So you're
like, "Go over
headed-
there and
you're
go
headed-
over there."
you head down that next big pipe that kind of looks like
I'm
the one
just
you came
gonna
from.
go, just like really, like he's gonna get near the wall and kind of pull himself. to
Ooh,
not
that's a
make
good
much
question. Which wall? The one on the outside tunnel or the column in the center?
Mhm.
The column in the center, since the goblin's asleep.
Sure. Okay.
He'll give the torch back, so he can use both hands to kind of pull himself down.
Yep.
And just peek around. 15 plus 5, 20.
Plenty. So you see down the big tunnel and it goes dark quick, right? You don't see any markings, but you really can't see much at all. But to your left, now we're looking kind of at the 1 o'clock spot. You see another slit in a window with a little bit of light pouring through.
Okay. It's gonna slowly let go and just drift back, since that seems to be the way the water's moving.
Sure.
Be like, I didn't see nothing. There sure wasn't any signs on the wall, but there was another guard spot. Looks like I could see it, and I didn't have a torch, so it's about 20 feet away.
Maybe
Did you
less.
see a
Maybe
guard
less,
in there?
I didn't get up there to look, but I bet you they don't have too many sleeping guards down here, so
Hmm.
I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
push it too much. Y'all want to head to that platform then?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think we should.
Because I'd imagine the other tunnel looks pretty similar to that with a different guard in it.
Hmm.
All mosey. I want to try to roll for stealth.
You're all gonna have to.
Okay.
So as you guys try to make, and we're just gonna do one roll to make your way through the sludge, past the sleeping goblin, and onto the platform.
Yep.
19.
What was
By
that?
the way, I have on a 19.
Yeah.
On D&D Beyond, I have a disadvantage marked on stealth.
Yeah, because of the chainmail, probably because it's heavy. But you're also in half cover, so we'll just say for now.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Once you're fully out of grossness, maybe we'll make you roll disadvantage.
All right.
You also didn't get to choose your stuff. I just gave you stuff, so I'm not going to punish you. Zach, what'd you roll?
14.
Okay, good. Agate?
Yeah. 15.
Perfect. You guys are all kind of slowly moving through. And as you get up onto that platform, right in front of you is a door. And you guys can all clearly see now to your right the little slit that Ed was talking about and the slit behind you. Like from where you stand now, both are visible.
Okay.
Are we like in the crossfire of those two? Mm.
At this point, I think you would assume that these were both set up to look particularly here at the door.
Mm-hmm. Can I peer into, like, see if I can see anything in the 1 o'clock slit?
You would have to go back into the water to get to it.
Okay. Then I will not do that.
Okay.
I'm like, y'all watch out. I'm going to go try to open the door, and if it's locked, I'm going to try to pick it with some thieves' tools.
Yeah, and as you try to open it, it like instantly just gives away a little bit and starts swinging open.
I'm just going to peek through.
Yep, and inside you see a little kind of pathway hallway that goes right immediately. So it's like a 5-foot entrance and then to the right. And it's lit now. So like you wouldn't even need your torches in this area because you could tell like this is now a living space of sorts. And the wall texture will change as well, right? These you could probably guess that this is built after the tunnels and has been co-opted onto the tunnels, if that kind of makes sense to you guys.
You said it's a living, like
this is all of a sudden, like the walls would now be like carved out of the dirt.
Yeah,
and there's like torches and there's doors. Like it's not just you trudging through filth.
Gotcha. Okay.
Realizing that we're out of the water, I look up at Wiley and say, "After you, sir." Would you like down?
Yes, I will go down. And I slide off your back and definitely like have a little bit of fun sliding, but I try to keep that from you.
I respect that.
Ed turns around and just puts his torch out and just makes sure y'all see it.
Ooh, Ed's talking with his hands now instead of his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Just now.
This is gonna be a great podcast.
Yep.
I mean, what you're doing is really smart, but
no, this is the way you get people to start watching the video.
Watch the video.
We're gonna start signing from now on.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, and so I was like, just turn around, like, I don't see anybody, but we don't need these anymore.
Oh.
So then it only goes to the right, correct?
And immediately.
Yeah. Is there a wall that like? So now I've gone through the door, put my torch out, let them know.
So you're into the hallway going to the right.
Yeah.
At the very end, you see another slit a bit wider, but you being spatially aware and not having a map in front of you would understand that that's probably leading to the same spot you saw your other slit at.
The 1 o'clock one.
Mm-hmm. Almost like a security window as you enter a corporation or something, right? Like there's probably a guard behind that little window.
I will peek in if that's okay with y'all, if you're coming in behind me, just to make sure that he's still asleep and that is the same room.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll anything?
Just one more stealth check.
Just make sure we didn't wake him up talking or anything.
Yeah, and this stealth check will be good.
This is the one that you haven't looked in yet.
Yeah, it's a different guard.
Different guard.
I got a 12.
Okay.
Yep, that's enough. You get up and you see once again another guard sleeping in a chair, crossbow to his side.
They're awful guards. Awful. Is he a goblin?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I turn around and tell y'all that. I'm like, we're not even being that quiet.
As long as you roll higher than a 10, you're doing good.
You're saying that there's a pipe next to this platform. Is that right?
So there's the pipe you came in kind of intersects another pipe that runs perpendicular with it.
Okay.
So you could, if you wanted to get off this platform, you could keep going down the tunnel.
I see. Okay. Do we see any of the yellow signs around?
Maybe one on the wall next to the torch. But at this
Okay.
point, when Ed
We're
enters, there's no more signs. Yeah.
We get the feeling that we're here.
Yeah.
It seems. Okay. Which of these, we're trying to use our little detective skills here. Which of these goblin guarded areas do we want to pursue?
Currently, this is the only door you've seen.
Okay.
So this is the only entrance.
They're sleeping there too. I mean, and there's no water. I'm going to go ahead and just vote. That's my favorite part.
I agree. I'm like trying to wring trying in vain to wring this stuff out of my uniform. I'm very proud of the uniform again.
Of course,
clean it every day.
Yeah, you'll have to clean it once again.
Because this is I'm burning it.
You'll get a new one.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
All right.
Use it for compost or something.
Yeah.
So what's your plan? Oh, Zach, when you got to that window to your left, you saw another door. So it kind of makes a Z-ish shape.
Okay. What do y'all think? What do you want to keep pushing this way?
Yeah, is there additional hallway to go down, or this is the end?
Nope.
Basically?
It goes door, hallway, ends up in another door with a little window before the door.
And that guy's asleep.
That guy's once again asleep.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm feeling good about
Let's
myself.
All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go try to open the door.
Yeah, and you do.
Quietly.
And I'm going to take your last stealth check as your last one for this area. So you open it.
Thank you, listeners.
And it slowly opens into a very well lit kind of hallway that goes to your right and left behind the door.
Okay.
Because the door opens in.
Here.
I was gonna do the same thing.
Left. It is for me.
All right, let's go. We'll
Cool.
move into the
as
left.
you guys kind of scurry in, maybe keeping as close to the open door as you can, you get on the back side of the closed open door, and all you see is a room, maybe 15 by 15, full of like garbage. A lot of broken tools like swords and weapons, but also maybe broken thieves' tools, old clothes. There's just like piles of rubbish that you probably have no ideas where it came from, right? It's just like the toss-offs of everyone else. In this room, there's no windows, obviously, because you're underground, but there's no tunnels, no pipes, nothing. It's just a kind of a carved out square cube where they've been throwing stuff in.
Wiley puts a evidence tag on some of the thieves' tools.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems. Why would they be guarding this? Y'all want to head to the right?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you guys look down that hallway, you see right past the door, maybe 10 feet, a large opening that goes into another room to your right. And then before that, or after that, you see some stairs that go down. I guess you don't see the stairs, but you see like a hallway that kind of aims down, so you can figure out what's going on.
I say we go that way.
Sounds good.
I'm a little disoriented, so I'll follow you guys.
No worries.
We're in that right to left hallway.
Just as
and
as an easy
was a
reminder,
drag.
now that you guys are going down that hallway a little bit, that room to your right has the sleeping goblin in it, and perhaps as you're walking down, you can hear little baby snores.
Can we hear what that sounds like?
What is this? Yeah, what is a goblin snore?
Aw, it's so sweet.
It's a good goblin snore.
They sound like squirrels.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to try to do here? Do you want to try to stealth past him down to the stairs?
Yes. With
Okay.
my 12.
Yeah, 12's good.
13.
13. Jonathan, I think at this point we're gonna have you do two rolls. Take the lowest.
Okay. Yep. Well, it's not going to be good. Neither of them are good. So, 5.
Ooh, 5's not good.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. 5 plus 2 is 7. So
7, still under 10. And you hear you guys as you tiptoeing, and you hear him maybe scraping the ground with his chainmail a little bit. And
Like
I'm gonna
trying to
have you
pull
guys
it up
all
like a kid
roll
that has-
initiative.
Okay. Did your best. You got us here.
Makes you
17.
That's an episode of Dungeons and Designers as we play Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is a Masters of One Network podcast. We'll see you next week.